I'm Nick Altmeyer of linkinglewiscounty.com, here today with County Manager Ryan Piche. So thanks for stopping by, Ryan. Appreciate your time today. So it's official now. We finally learned last night that the appointment was officially made that you're going to be moving on and accepting a similar role in Jefferson County.
Yep. So the county administrator position in Jefferson County is very similar to the county manager position here in Lewis County, just right across the border to our friends in Jefferson. So.
Okay. So, and just so I think a lot of people here are probably aware, but you grew up in Jefferson County. You're kind of a Jefferson County native, so it's really a homecoming for you. And
yeah, it is. I grew up in Adams Center. My parents live in 3 Mile Bay now. But I will say, I've been in Lewis County for 7 years. Mm-hmm. I've got a nice house in Lowville, and I feel as much home here as any place I've ever lived. So, it is kind of, in a sense, going back to my roots, but in another sense, I do feel like I'm kind of leaving home because, I really have become quite comfortable here.
So after college, you did have to accept a few positions out of state, mm-hmm. and so Lewis County really back in 2017 when you got hired as a county manager here, that was really your first homecoming because it really got you back into the area and back into the region.
In this business, the local government administration, there really is so few jobs. Think about the North Country alone. You've got Jefferson, Lewis, St. Lawrence, Watertown, Ogdensburg. That's it. There's five total jobs. So when I was hired by Lewis back in 2017, it was a godsend. To be able to do this career that I'm really passionate about, back in the North Country was amazing, and it has been amazing. I've had a truly wonderful experience working with Lewis County.
Right. So, as your time here in Lewis County winds down over the next few months throughout the summer, we are going to bring you back in a few more times if I think you've agreed to,
sure.
kind of go through, a lot of things that have been done over that time period since you came on board and things like that. But today we just wanted to talk a little bit about, the announcement has officially been made. Jefferson County Board made the appointment last night. So what is the timeline looking like for when's your last day going to be here in Lewis County?
Right, so I have agreed to stay on until October 1st in Lewis County. I think it's very important to me that we have a smooth transition. I think it's very important to the Board of Legislators that we have a smooth transition. And so, I'll be here until October 1st. We will be searching for the county manager replacement. In fact, that job description has been reviewed and approved by the Board of Legislators. It should be posted today, and you'll start seeing it out there, this week. So our hope is that we can dial in on a candidate and hopefully have someone in place, around August or September, so that there's some time for a warm handoff.
Right. Okay. So, that kind of gets into the next part about, the whole process of what that is going to look like going forward for finding a new county manager. So, and that's something that, in addition to the board, you'll be actively involved with as well, kind of helping them through that process.
Well, it's the board's decision. It's one of the most important things that the Board of Legislators will do is choose who's going to be the administrative head of the governmental, functions of the county. So it's obviously, their decision and theirs alone, but the Human Resource Department and myself, look forward to trying to assist with finding good candidates and making sure that we're having really quality interviews and, vetting each of these candidates so that the community can have a high level of confidence with whoever comes in next.
Right. And, we've really acquired a number of good people here in Lewis County as department heads over the last decade or so. There should be a good pool of people if they're interested or not to internally, as well as what kind of external avenues do you expect them to go to?
Well, I think both. I think we want to recruit a robust pool of candidates. Mm-hmm. So if there are some local folks that are interested, I agree. We have an incredibly talented workforce in the county government already, and I could see potentially some candidates emerging from that pool. On the other hand, you really want to make sure that you're casting a wide net and getting as many qualified folks as possible. Mm-hmm. So hopefully both. hopefully some internal and hopefully some really qualified external as well.
So maybe some like ads and trade publications that kind of serve the country in general. And
yeah, we will be in, so regionally, obviously, we'll post a job just like we normally do. It'll be on Lincoln Lewis County, it'll be on the Watertown Times, it'll be on our website. But in addition, we're also going to be on the New York State Association of Counties website. Mm-hmm. We're going to be on the New York State Association of Personnel Directors.
Right.
And we're going to be on the International City and County Managers Association, ICMA website.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be, like I said, casting a wide net.
Very good. So again, as things play out and develop, leading throughout the summer, we'll come back with any kind of developments and let people know at that point. Kind of transitioning to your new position, Jefferson County is a larger county than Lewis County, obviously. So population-wise, Lewis County is about 20% of their population.
Yep.
We're about 25,000 or about 120.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Budget-wise, we have about a $60 million budget. Theirs is about $300 million, so we're about 20% of their budget. So what are some of the challenges you see, walking into a much larger enterprise?
Right. So, the first job of these positions, county administrator, county manager, is to understand the direction that the elected officials want to take things.
Right.
So my first challenge and my first job will be to get to know the legislators in Jefferson County, understand what is important to them in their district, what is important to them in the community, and what are some of the internal organizational challenges that they see with the county government as an organization. So that'll be where I will start. That will be where whoever replaces me should start. Start with, that's our number one job, is to execute the direction of the elected board of legislators. So,
right.
So that's where I'll start from there. But Jefferson County is in a lot of ways very similar to Lewis County. I mean, we're right next door.
Right.
There's a lot of the same agencies and non-governmental organizations that we deal with.
Right.
Jefferson County has a few challenges that are a little bit unique that Lewis doesn't necessarily have. They've got the international border.
Right.
And then we do host a little bit of Fort Drum, but obviously Jefferson County is the main host community for Fort Drum. So
in the lake and river,
the lakefront, riverfront.
Yeah.
I see those a lot, though, very similar to we've got the Adirondack Park and the Tug Hill.
Right.
I mean, they're
right.
recreational assets that are growing quickly, and it's about what's the right pace of growth, what's the right type of growth.
Right.
Instead of having the Tug Hill, I think is you're buying property on the Tug Hill right now. It's like buying lakefront property.
Right.
I mean, and the Adirondack side of the county as well.
Right.
So it's different, but a lot similar.
Instead of having a hospital to oversee, you'll have an airport.
Right.
So there's, like you said, similarities,
mm-hmm.
but some differences as well.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of a 10-member board, you'll go from 10 buses to 15.
Yes.
As far as the way Lewis County kind of functions as a very small rural community,
mm-hmm.
I think the county takes a larger role in government, more so than towns and villages, just because of the resources and things like that, which might be a little bit different in Jefferson County.
Mm-hmm.
Will there be an adjustment as far as like what portion of things like the county oversees? Like in Jefferson County, you're going to have a city like Watertown,
mm-hmm.
so the county kind of doesn't have as much to do as what goes on in the city of Watertown.
Yeah, definitely. County government fundamentally is there's we provide public safety, we provide transportation and infrastructure, and human services. I mean, that really comes down to the bottom line of what we do. Lewis County, you also add healthcare to that.
Right.
So fundamentally those things are the same. On both Lewis and Jefferson, but Lewis has consolidated some operations because we're just so sparsely populated that it makes sense. code enforcement, for example,
Right.
has been consolidated into the county government. How about the county, owning a health system?
Right.
Right. That's something that's a little bit unusual,
Right.
responsibility of the county government. We're getting into assessing. It's getting tougher and tougher for the small towns.
Right.
To carry their own assessor that can keep up with
Mm-hmm.
things. So there is a bit of a more centralized push, I think, in Lewis, but that's something I'll have to learn about, what the vision is in Jefferson. What they're
Right.
what they're looking for.
Right. So I think we mentioned you started here in June of 2017. So it's been 7 years. And really, a lot of projects have been undertaken during that time. A lot has really been moved forward, which, as the summer goes on, we'll bring you back in and really dig down into the specifics on some of that. But what are some of the highlights? Like, I know there's a lot of building projects, broadband projects, like all kinds of things. Like, what are some of the highlights that you're most proud of your time here in Lewis County?
Far and away, what brings me the most joy is the team that we've built here in Lewis County. I mean, we truly have excellent public servants in every, nearly every position. But the group of department heads that I get to work with, the group of legislators that we get to work with, are just incredible people that have the absolute right mindset about public service and what it means to bring services to the Lewis County community. And I'm really proud to have been a part of that team. I'm proud to have helped build that team, and I'm certain that it will continue.
Right.
So that's something that the community will continue to benefit from. So.
Okay. And also have to ask the flip side of that. So what would be one of the biggest challenges that you faced over that 7-year period?
Interesting. I wasn't ready for that one.
There's been a lot of lots
certainly,
of progress.
Yeah.
And things that could be a challenge end up working out into the positive at some point. But
yeah, I think the rural nature of Lewis County presents a lot of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do very much efficiently
Right.
in a small community.
Right.
If, for example, broadband
Right.
was profitable, it would
Right.
have already been done.
Right.
So there's a lot of things like that come up where
Right.
it takes an extraordinary government effort to bring services
Right.
because of the inefficiencies.
Right.
The private sector is not going to do some of this stuff. They're not going to bring healthcare to Lewis County because
For
it's
sure.
inefficient. They're not going to bring broadband to Lewis County because it's inefficient.
Right.
So without the county stepping up on some of these things, the community wouldn't have those services. So I think that'll always be a challenge
Right.
for rural communities in upstate New York. And and on top of that, you've got the state government, which continues to.
I thought for sure your answer was going to be keeping up with the state mandates was the biggest challenge.
No, it's there's a lot. They're coming to me now.
Right.
But the state of New York continues to put more and more responsibility in the hands of county governments for executing state programs.
Right.
And that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. There's
Right.
some very good state programs like
Right.
early intervention for kids that
Right.
need a little help with speech therapy. There's a lot of the Office for the Aging Meals program. There's a lot of great state programs that do a lot of good, but
They don't always
keeping up.
come with the funding attached.
No,
sometimes,
no.
too.
It's just do this and figure out how to pay for it, and
Right.
that can be a challenge.
Right.
So.
All right, and I guess we'll close today's interview on you have undertaken a lot of big projects here, and it looks like going into your new role. I think the only 2 resolutions last night at the special meeting were appointing you, and there was a Jefferson County's taking on their biggest ever project with a renovation at the airport.
Yeah.
So you'll be walking into another big project. But what are you leaving on the plate for the next Lewis County manager that you would really like to see fulfilled that you're not going to have a chance to finish?
Yeah, there's plenty that needs to continue to be done. Broadband is one of them that we need to continue to work on. That's certainly not a problem that is solved. The courthouse. I mean, we've done a lot of focus on our buildings, but folks, I don't think understand how dire our physical plant was.
Right.
And we've got an HVAC system in the courthouse that That's a very old building with a very old heating and air conditioning system and boiler that need to be replaced. So that's a project that's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I think I think the county's in a fairly stable position. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the table is set for the next administration, and to work with the Board of Legislators, and there's a whole lot that can be accomplished still. So I think I think the train will continue to stay on the tracks and continue to do a lot of good work.
Okay. Well, again, we thank you for your time today,
Sure.
and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you.
Personally, I will definitely be sad to see you leave Lewis County. You have been great to work with, and really have been communicative, and I think that that's been a very good relationship through the years. So we wish you the best of luck in your new position, and like I said, we'll have more with you as time goes on throughout the summer. You can't get rid of us until October 1st.
Fair enough. And I'm always happy to come visit. So.
Thanks, Ryan.